Welcome to the New Mexico Educational Retirement Board Early to Mid-Career Presentation. Thank you for watching. We are so excited you've decided to join us and learn more about your pension. We look forward to providing you with information regarding your retirement that you may not already have. Let's dive in. Our mission at ERB is to ensure that your years of hard work and dedication are rewarded with a secure retirement. As an employee of a New Mexico public school, charter school, institution of higher learning, and select state agencies involved in the educational programs, membership with ERB is not only a condition of your employment, but it's also a gateway to financial security in your golden years. We are a public pension fund provider serving close to 200,000 active, inactive, and retired members and their beneficiaries. Our primary responsibility is to administer and oversee any changes made to the Educational Retirement Act, as well as the rules passed by the New Mexico State Legislature and signed by the Governor. This ensures that your retirement benefits are protected and aligned with the laws and regulations in place. When it comes to retirement planning, ERB has your back throughout your entire journey. We offer the Defined Benefit Plan, which provides you with a lifetime benefit and gives you a choice of designating a beneficiary based on your preferred benefit option. The great thing about the plan is, the longer you work, the higher your benefit payment will be, without any maximum cap. So whether you're an enthusiastic newcomer, which I hope you all are, or an experienced professional, ERB is committed to serving you and providing the peace of mind you deserve. Today, we're going to go into a little more detail on that defined benefit plan. We'll cover some information on legislation and its impacts. We'll look at investments and what role they play, and contributions. We'll consider life-changing events and information you need to keep updated with ERB. We'll cover the information on the tiers, the annual benefit calculators, service credit, refunds and rollovers. We'll take a little mini tour of the member self-service portal on the website, and we'll look ahead at some considerations as you do approach retirement stage. What is a pension? Well, a pension, also known as a defined benefit plan, is a retirement plan that provides a stable monthly payment to retirees throughout their lives. It offers a reliable source of income after you stop working. Additionally, a defined benefit plan provides members with an option to ensure that their beneficiary continues to receive a lifetime benefit even after the retiree passes away. In a defined benefit plan, both you and your employer contribute a certain percentage of your income towards your retirement savings. Because this is a condition of employment, a portion of your earnings is automatically allocated towards building your retirement fund. Once you retire, you'll receive a lifetime benefit for the rest of your life based on your years of service and the beneficiary option you choose. The defined benefit plan ensures that your retirement income is secure and predictable, giving you peace of mind about your financial future. As I mentioned in the introduction, our primary responsibility at ERB is to administer and oversee any changes made to the Educational Retirement Act, as well as the rules passed by the New Mexico State Legislature and signed by the Governor. Legislation passed by the legislature can have various effects on members of the Educational Retirement Act. The specific impact will depend on the nature of the legislation and its provisions. Legislative changes can modify the retirement benefits offered to members. This could involve adjustments to the calculation of benefits, changes in the retirement age, cost of living adjustments, or modifications to the contribution rates, just to name a few. At ERB, we have a duty to balance the risk and return potential in our portfolio in support of funding benefits for our members. The investments team at ERB focuses on achieving superior long-term returns to secure member retirement futures and deliver benefits to enrich their lives. As you see on the screen here, this gives you a little breakdown of what the members' contributions, the employer's contributions, and the investment contributions are towards that fund. Information you'll want to keep track of from early career through retirement are going to be those contribution rates for each fiscal year. Our current contribution rates are 18.15% for the employers and 7.9% for members who are earning less than $24,000 annually and 10.7% for members who are earning more than $24,000 annually. You can always check out the contribution rate schedule on our website for updated information based on each fiscal year. No matter what stage of your career you are in, you want to make sure your information with ERB remains current. A few examples of items to keep current would include your mailing address, your phone number, and an email address. Of course, keeping an updated mailing address and even phone number on file, not only with ERB, but also your employer, is important to maintain that communication from ERB. Keeping a personal email address on file with us as opposed to a school email address ensures that you can have continuous access to your member self-service portal if you happen to change employers or districts. Now we can always retrieve that for you, but you do have to get the information reset. It's best just to register that with a personal email address from the start. That way it goes wherever you go. If you change your name, whether it's due to marriage, divorce, or for any reason, it's important to keep us informed so that we can keep your account current. One of the biggest ones is a pre-retirement beneficiary designation form. Now, if you don't have one of these with us, get one in today. But it is always best to have an updated one as well, with accurate beneficiary designation form on file, even if you intend your spouse or your domestic partner as your beneficiary. A properly executed form just ensures that there are no questions or conflicts as to who may receive a survivor benefit if something should occur to you prior to retirement. If in the unfortunate event you become ill or injured or become disabled prior to retirement, you may be eligible for disability benefits under ERB's defined benefit plan. If you need more information regarding disability and eligibility, you can check out our website, you can review the information on our member handbook, or you can always reach out to us. And finally, the death of a member or beneficiary. It's important to notify ERB in the event of a member or beneficiary's death so we can properly process that account. We understand if something were to happen to you, you're not able to keep us informed. However, what we recommend is letting your beneficiary know they are your beneficiary. If something does happen to you, they can come in and properly process that account, and we can make any payment that may be due to them. If your beneficiary precedes you in death, you can come in and update that form with us and get a new beneficiary on file. Let's talk about tiers. No, not the ones that come out of your eyes, but the ones that determine when you're eligible for retirement with ERB. ERB has 4 tiers. The tier you were in is typically based on when you began employment with an ERB employer. Tier 1 are those that were hired prior to July 1st of 2010. Tier 2 are those that are hired July 1st of 2010 through June 30th of 2013. Tier 3 are those that were hired July 1st of 2013 through June 30th of 2019. And Tier 4 are those that were hired on or after July 1st of 2019. When you're vested, meaning that you have 5 years of qualified service credit, you're eligible for retirement on the earliest date you meet one of the following criteria. For Tier 1, there are 3 ways to qualify. Your first option would be 25 and out, meaning earned service credit plus allowed service credit equals 25 or more years. Take note that there is no minimum age requirement for this rule only. Your next option in Tier 1 would be the rule of 75. That is your age plus earned service credit equals 75 or more. And finally, you have the rule of 65 and 5. So if you're at least 65 and you have 5 or more years of service credit, you may be eligible. For Tiers 2, 3, and 4, there are 3 ways to qualify as well. The first option would be 30 and out, meaning your earned service credit equals 30 or more years. There's the rule of 80, and that is your age plus earned service credit equals 80 or more. And finally, 67 and 5. If you're at least 67 and you have 5 or more years of service credit, you're eligible. Please note as we move forward that a tiered multiplier does apply to all of our Tier 4 members. We will go over that briefly. When you are eligible to retire, you receive a gross monthly lifetime benefit that's currently based on one of the following formulas. For tiers 1 through 3, it's going to be your final average salary, and that is your highest consecutive 5 years, multiplied by your years of service, multiplied by a 2.35% pension factor. That equals your gross annual benefit. If you are under Tier 4, the defined benefit plan will use a tiered multiplier, and that is your final average salary, again, your highest consecutive 5 years, multiplied by a graduated multiplier. That equals your gross annual benefit. The pension factor on this changes every 10 years up to year 30 and then remains 2.4% thereafter. For a tiered multiplier, calculation is dependent on your years of service. If you want more information on that tiered multiplier, you are welcome to reach out to us and we can walk you through it. As I've made reference a few times in the presentation, you do have 3 benefit options when you retire. These do impact your monthly benefit amount. So let's dive in and learn about them. The following options are available for all 4 tiers. Your first option that you could select would be option A. We often refer to this as a straight life benefit, and that is because this provides the highest monthly benefit amount to you. There is no lifetime benefit for a beneficiary with this option. However, if you have any unused contributions at the time of your passing, those will be refunded to the designated beneficiary on file. This is the only option that you can have more than one beneficiary, and it's also the only option that that beneficiary can be an estate, a charity, or an organization. We have option B, often referred to as a spousal option. This provides a reduced benefit. It is the least monthly benefit amount option, and that's because this provides 100% survivor's benefit for the remainder of your beneficiary's life. It's important to note that there is a 10-year age provision for a non-spouse option with option B, and that means that your beneficiary cannot be more than 10 years younger than you in order to receive this benefit if they are not your spouse. And finally, we have option C, often referred to as a dependent option. Under option C, your monthly benefit is reduced to provide a designated beneficiary with a 50% survivor's benefit for the remainder of their lifetime. Under both options B and C, you may only name one beneficiary, and it's important to note that in only a few instances may you change that beneficiary once selected. So make sure you choose your beneficiary wisely, because in most circumstances, you cannot change it once you've retired. All right, let's discuss service credit. The chart you see here is a breakdown of what earned service credit looks like. Now, earned service credit is the credit earned while working more than 0.25 of the full-time equivalency for an ERB-covered employer. As a member of ERB's defined benefit plan, you receive service credit for each calendar quarter in which you are employed by an ERB employer and making contributions to that plan. ERB does offer options to purchase additional service credit, but these must be done before retirement and you must be vested to purchase. Those additional options available for purchase include buying back withdrawn service credit. So if at any point you have withdrawn your contributions from ERB's defined benefit plan, you have the right to buy back years of service credit up to the amount withdrawn, plus interest at the current rate set by ERB. This applies to both active and inactive members. We also have an allowed service credit purchase option. So the Educational Retirement Act allows certain types of service credit to be purchased and credited to a member's account. For a list of information on that allowed service credit, you can always check out our website or review the member handbook where it lists what those include. This allowed service credit is limited to a total of 5 years, and it will be included in the computation of the retirement benefit. However, allowed service credit is not counted towards retirement eligibility, except in that Tier 1 rule of 25 and out. Allowed service credit also does not count towards becoming vested in ERB. As a quick reminder, to become vested, the member must have completed 5 years of qualified service credit. Next, we have military service. So, members who have previously served in the military or the Commissioned Corps of the Public Health Service may purchase 5 years of allowed service credit in that defined benefit plan. And for service credit for active duty, that may be purchased after 5 years of employment, again, when you're invested with ERB. Finally, we have the purchase of service credit based on an accumulated sick leave. So a member can purchase up to 1 year based on the amount of unused sick leave they have accumulated. It is important to understand that sick leave is used to qualify you to then be able to make a purchase of a service credit. It is not a conversion. To purchase service credit, you must be vested, you must make the purchase before retirement, and finally, you must make the purchase in a single lump sum. Of course, service credit purchase is based on actuarial assumptions, and it will be different for each member based on their individual circumstances. These service credit purchases do have to be made in a single lump sum, so for a cost of what that will be for you, I recommend checking out that service credit purchase calculator in your member portal. If you're unsure of what that is, we'll get to that soon. All right, let's move forward to refunds and rollovers. So this one is a tongue twister, so I hope I don't lose you on the way. If you have worked for an employer covered by ERB at some point in your career, but you are no longer employed by an ERB covered employer, and you are not retired from ERB, there are options available regarding your contributions. You are considered inactive after a full calendar quarter, that is at least 90 days, of not contributing to retirement or working for ERB employer. If you are vested, meaning you have those 5 years of eligible service credit, you may leave your account in an inactive status until you reach retirement age, and then apply for a monthly benefit. You also have the option to refund or roll over your contributions plus interest. For an account balance, you can access the statement of account in your member portal. Please be aware, if you refund or roll over your contributions, you will be forfeiting your service credit and any retirement benefits. You are not entitled to any contributions made by your employer. If you return to an ERB employer in the future, you will start with a zero balance of service credit and contributions. You will also be subject to the current tier status and retirement eligibility requirements. Also, you must be fully terminated from ERB employer to request a refund of your contributions. If you choose to refund or roll over your contributions, you must withdraw the entire amount. So whether you're vested or not, if you leave your contributions on account and return to an ERB covered employer in the future, you will retain your service credit and your tier status. If you have any questions about that, if you want to explore your options before making a change, always reach out to us and talk to us. We'll help you navigate it so you can make the best decision for yourself. All right, why don't we go ahead and take a little tour? Let's start with our website. It's beneficial to visit our website from time to time because it's always the most current source of information. We'll include updates from legislation, any upcoming events that you may need to be aware of, information on investments, and of course, our office closures. The pages you may visit the most will include, of course, the home page. This is where you're going to find the most recent updates, any of the things happening at ERB, or you'll be able to access any of the areas that you need. Next on the tour, we'll go to the Active Members tab. As early and mid-career members, this tab is going to contain a wealth of information, including things like service credit, our benefit plan, as well as our information library. Next up on our tour, the Forms tab. This will likely be a frequently visited page for you on our website, of course outside of that member portal and our homepage, as this is where you're going to access any form you may need, including that pre-retirement beneficiary designation form we talked about earlier. You can access the service credit purchase form here. You can access the benefit estimate request form here, as well as a change in records form, among a few others. And since I keep referencing it, I think it's time we take a tour of the member self-service portal. On our homepage, in the upper right-hand corner, you'll find a little button that says My NMERB Account. This is where you're going to access the member self-service portal. Once you are logged into your member self-service portal, you'll have access to a few things. As you begin your career and throughout your journey, we encourage you to sign in and regularly check your account information using this member self-service portal. Of course, as with most sites, the first page you see when you log in is your dashboard. On this dashboard, you can see a snapshot of your dependents if you have any listed. You'll see your beneficiaries. You may see news and alerts. If you do not have a beneficiary listed under this section, it means you have not submitted a pre-retirement beneficiary designation form with us. We encourage you to do so as soon as possible. So if in the unfortunate event something happens to you before you retire, your contributions can be refunded to your intended beneficiary. Let's move on. On the left, you can access the menu. From here, you can access your profile. You can access the address we have listed. You can access your work history. You have access to the benefit estimate calculator, as well as that service credit purchase estimator. You can also access the retirement application as well as the refund application. And you can view a statement of account and click on that Help tab. Let's go through each section briefly. Our first stop in the member self-service portal is going to be your member profile. This is where you can view your personal information, such as your personnel file number, the social you have listed with us, your date of birth, etc. Make sure everything you see on here is correct and current. If you've had a name change and this isn't reflecting it, you may not have updated that information with us yet. Go ahead and submit a change in record form, which of course can be found on the Forms tab of our website. Next up will be your address and contact information. This is the section where you can verify that we have the correct address on file, that your phone number is correct, and that you have your email address listed. Again, we encourage you to use a personal email. Also, it's important just to keep this information up to date so that we can ensure communication to you. In the next section, you can review your work history. It's important to remember that school reporting is in arrears, and that means it'll always be about 2 months behind because of how that reporting works. So what you see in your account may not look as if you expected if you're not aware of how that reporting works. Also, you should verify everything here does look correct, and if there are any issues, please reach out to us as soon as possible so they can be corrected. Next up is the benefit estimator. This is a tool you can use to determine when you might be eligible for retirement. This is only an estimator and it does not provide an audited detail of your service credit. Of course, you can request an audit when you are within a year of retirement to verify your eligibility at that time. Next up, we have the service credit purchase estimator. For anybody interested in purchasing that service credit, this is going to be the first place to come to determine if you would like to proceed with that service credit purchase. Next up is that retirement and refund application section. This one's pretty self-explanatory, but you can use this to access the retirement application as well as that application for a refund or rollover. Then we come to our statement of account. When you're viewing your statement of account, remember it is calculated from the last quarter and it will not show the information from the current quarter. And for the last stop on our tour, the Member Help tab. The Help tab offers tips and information to answer questions you may have. But before we're done with our Member Self-Service Portal tour, let's pop over to those account settings. This can be found in the top right corner of your account. On here, you can update your password, your security questions, as well as a variety of other settings that may affect your account. All right, let's start looking ahead. You see that down there, way back at the end of the road? That's retirement. It's closer than you might think. Now, of course, there are a few considerations to keep in mind as you start approaching retirement. The first would be age reductions. So for the rule of 75 in Tier 1, there is a permanent reduction in benefits if you are under the age of 60. For the rule of 80 in Tiers 2, 3, and 4, there is a permanent reduction in benefits if you are under the age of 65. Just understand that working longer will minimize or get rid of those age reductions altogether. If you want to see the breakdown of what those reductions are, you of course can visit our website or our member handbook where it gives you a detailed breakdown. The next thing you're going to want to consider are your personal finances, such as your savings, your debts. Do you have any other income sources? Do you qualify for Social Security? What about property and other assets? And of course, you want to consider healthcare options and costs. These are not included in your estimate of benefits, and they are your responsibility to research, select, and set up with a third party, such as New Mexico Healthcare Authority, if applicable. You can always check with your employer, see what other options there may be, or you may have the benefit of having a spouse's healthcare to depend on. Take a look at this stool. When you consider retirement, understand that there is more than just the benefit you're receiving from ERB that contributes or detracts from it. So make sure you're considering all areas of this as you approach retirement so that you can make an informed decision as to whether or not now's the time or later. And while retirement can seem so far off, remember, the days are long, but the years are short. Keep your information current with us so we have a means to communicate with you and you with us. Of course, you can always connect with us. I recommend signing up for our ERB Connect newsletter to stay current in information that may impact your retirement benefits or just information to know. We do include any snapshots of any legislation, as well as other helpful information. You, of course, can always visit our website for additional information and resources, or follow us on social media. Here you see listed some of our contact information. We did change our phone numbers not that long ago to consolidate, so now we have one main number and one toll-free number, as well as one fax number. You can always email us, you can send something to us, or you can stop in one of our 2 locations. And that brings us to the conclusion of our presentation. We want to thank you for your time, and we want to remind you we are here to support you throughout your journey. If you have questions, if you need any clarity, you can always reach out to us. You can visit our website, you can go to our member handbook. We are here for you to support you throughout your journey. Thank you.